This is not the book I expected to write. It's better. Let me explain. What started out as a driving desire to share the experiences that changed the way I view energy, spirituality, and our relationship to ourselves and each other felt strangely unfinished after 4 years writing, editing, and restructuring. That changed on February 18th, 2015, my 48th birthday, with the most unusual and most soul expandingly powerful gift I have ever received: malignant tumors in my chest and neck. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The seeds of this book first began to sprout on January 7th, 2009, when Mike Falcone, a friend from college, and I had an email exchange on Facebook about our mutual interest in acupuncture. We met working at WCHC-FM, the alternative radio station at the College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts, where Mike, who went by Francis at the time, and I spent several years as music director and assistant station manager, respectively. Had you asked at the time what role I thought needles might play in Mike's future career, I would have chosen tattoo artist long before acupuncturist. Nevertheless, there we were, 20 years later, exchanging emails about alternative medicine and his decision to pursue a career as an acupuncturist. I remember the night vividly. When Mike asked what sparked my interest in acupuncture, I started to type a reply when I suddenly remembered a lengthy article I had written 7 years prior describing my experience working with various alternative healers, including acupuncturists, Chinese herbalists, Reiki masters, medical intuitives, and hands-on healers. I had originally written the article as a submission for the inaugural issue of a magazine focused on alternative medicine. I'm honestly not sure what happened after I submitted the article. Either the magazine never got off the ground or the editors decided they had a better chance of success without my input. What I do recall is saving the article and consciously moving the file with each new computer, knowing I'd someday find a use for it. On that cold January evening in 2009, rather than rewriting the story I'd written so long ago, I searched through my files, found the article, and posted it as my first ever Facebook note. At the time, I had about 300 Facebook friends, and the newsfeed wasn't the tractor beam-like feature it is now, with the heaviest users checking status updates multiple times per day. Within a day, 16 people posted comments, and many more contacted me privately. Almost immediately, I began receiving friend requests from friends of friends who heard about my story and wanted to read it. The response surprised me because nothing I had written professionally touched people the way my experience with alternative medicine did. Having written a job search book a few years before, I knew that my professional missteps and other business experiences helped people, but I never expected my personal experiences would someday have an even greater emotional impact. The comment I remember most came from my friend Carolyn, who said, "Just a heartfelt wow. I'm one of those skeptics, and hearing a story like this from someone I actually know makes me think." Carolyn's comment got me thinking as well and inspired me to share more of the experiences that have changed the way I view the world. Shortly after that first Facebook note, I started collecting ideas and other stories in an app on my phone I'd someday use to create other chapters. Like most of the writing I've done, it took some time for the information to process internally before I was ready to sit down and write. I'm also a practiced and proficient procrastinator. So between the processing and procrastination, it took another 2 years before I did any substantive writing. Even after much of the book was written, I developed a sense that it wasn't finished because I hadn't yet lived some of the experiences that were supposed to be included. What I struggled with most was my strong feeling that this book, while autobiographical in nature, was never meant to be an autobiography. The experiences happened to me, but it isn't about me. That's why we later decided to incorporate similar stories from other people, so it's clear none of this was a fluke. Around the time I was experiencing that unfinished feeling, it occurred to me there might be a life experience I hadn't yet had that might tie all of the stories in the book together. Of course, my hopeful side had visions of something aspirational and life-changing, like meeting the perfect woman or a huge, unexpected inheritance. So naturally, I found myself feeling impatient. Had I known the gift I awaited was lymphoma rather than love, I might not have been in such a hurry. At this point, you might be thinking,